Does that work? Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Awesome. How's it going, Nick?
Not too bad. How are you doing? Finally got some good news this week.
I know. I just saw it on the Instagram story, man. You're
Yeah.
open.
Yeah, and June 1st, we can open the Mall of America.
Dude, that's
So,
awesome.
yeah, finally. Yeah, it's just such a relief to finally get moving again and get some momentum taking place.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Because,
Yeah.
like, you guys were planning on opening this past weekend, too, right? Like this past Monday?
No, it was, I think the Monday prior.
Okay.
So the thing that Tim Walls hasn't done is given us a lot of leeway to
Okay.
prepare. So when the first order for shutdown was expiring on May 6th, we were anticipating to open then. But then
Okay.
on I believe it was May 3rd, he extended it to the 18th. So we only had 3 days to kind of,
Yeah.
change plans and figure out, like what we needed to not do. And then we just got the word yesterday that we are allowed to open on May 18th. So the one downfall from that is, we were anticipating being able to open, but you can't guarantee it. So I was
Yeah.
apprehensive to like staff up when I was already learned from May 6th that you can't try to over prepare because you'll disappoint a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, but now we're ramping up and we're going to get some staff in there and have Edina open on the 18th and have the Mall of America open on the 1st of June. Along with good news too, it's you must have heard all the gyms can open up on the 1st too.
Yep. June 1st. There we go.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that for sure. Hopefully, create a nice wave of support and have everybody in their gym on the 1st, supporting the gym and pushing people to sign back up. People who have discontinued the membership, get them to sign back up and support their local box and get that back going again.
Yeah. How's running the shop online going for the last couple of months?
It's okay. Nothing beats an online or an in-store experience versus online. Online there's just so much more competition and less service you can provide. So it's never been my preference on, how to do business. I'm a little old fashioned in the sense of I like people coming in. I like being able to talk to people and talk about their needs so you can give that firsthand experience. I've been able to, kind of provide a level of that via phone calls and emails. But it's just not the same. And, the business has been okay online. I've never really, prepared, like there are businesses who do like 100% of their business online that have a website that's much more robust than mine. Because it's never really been my priority. So, I put some priority into it, but, I'm looking forward to just brick and mortar again, opening the doors back up.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So how'd you get your start in this, Nick? Like, I know you used to run triathlons and stuff like that. Is that kind of what got you started to want to have an athletic clothing store? Or have you ever always just wanted to own your own business?
It's a little bit of both,
Okay.
I think the desire to own and run my own business has been there since I was a teenager. Thank you. And so that has always been there, and that's always been kind of in the back of my mind. That's just what I would really love to do, just waiting for the right opportunity to do it. And then to choose the industry was, that was always kind of like where do you focus? That was the idea of what's the biggest need, and things kind of change as you go about different trends and whatnot. I used to be big into skiing and snowboarding when I was younger, and that was the thought, like, hey, I'll open up a snowboarding shop. That went for like through most of my 20s was kind of like the idea that I was trying to build. And then, as I got into other athletics, I saw a different opportunity arise, and that was in quality athletic apparel, workout apparel and gear. It's just, it was always the hardest thing to attain for me personally. And for a lot of my friends, the biggest complaints is, where do I find good workout gear? And that became such a consistent, a complaint from people that I thought, well, this has got to be an opportunity here. There's, I love fitness. I love staying in shape, both for competition and just for, general mental health and feeling good about yourself. So, it was a lifestyle I knew a lot about. And I thought that, I can really provide a good level of expertise in here and, be a strong part of, that level of the community, as I was a competitor, move on to the provider, the service provider, and thought it was a great opportunity to take advantage of. So being that there's just really no other place around aside from internet sites to get stuff, and have somebody be able to bring in stuff that's new and try it out and, experience it so that you can say, somebody says, hey, is this any good? It's like, yeah, I tried it out. It's great.
Yeah, especially here in Minnesota, there's not a lot.
Yeah, not a lot of, well, in the country, there's just not a lot. When I was doing my research, there's only a handful of other businesses that have a similar concept to ToothxNail. And, one of the big ones is Rogue. A lot of people go there because they're the easiest and biggest ones to provide, but the level of what, you hear the feedback of like, well, I ordered something and it just didn't work out. And so, a lot of what I hear is I just hung on to it because the return policy is so difficult. And, that was a hurdle I wanted people to be able to overcome, is that they don't have to feel like they're wasting their money and that they're getting what they want right off the bat instead of having, and I think a lot of viewers will be able to relate to this, is like having like 4 different pairs of lifting shoes because the first 3 didn't work out.
Yeah. And then where did this start? Has it always been in Minnesota, and Edina, or did it start somewhere else before coming here?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a evolution. When I really started taking the idea very seriously and developing the business plan, I was living in Colorado. And the thought wasn't necessarily that we would open in Colorado. The thought was we were going to move back to Minnesota and open in Minnesota because it's our home state. We really love it. And everything is more affordable and much easier to work with in Minnesota than Colorado, especially now, as opposed to, like even 2 years ago, it was really expensive. But we made some good investments in real estate there, and which gave us really good equity to work with.
Awesome.
And so, yeah, we moved back home to enact the plan. And so it evolved from there. And we initially picked St. Paul, the Grand Avenue area, because we felt like it was an easily accessible shopping district where a lot of people would come around. And, we wanted to be able to take advantage of, street by walking traffic, window shoppers and whatnot. Yep. And that's a good shopping district to do so. So we picked out a place there, but it just didn't work out. So we took a drive and scouted out some other areas, and 50th and France was one of the places we were looking at, and their real estate realtor was really easy to work with, and the landlord was really easy to work with. So we ended up signing a lease there. And so that's how we landed there. As you probably know, we before COVID, we expanded out to the Mall of America, and that was, they kind of reached out to us and said, we're looking to have small businesses, local businesses in the Mall of America. And we found you guys and thought you'd be a good fit. We've been in your store. We've checked it out. We really love your design, your look, your aesthetic. And so, we worked with them a little bit and thought it'd be a great fit. And I really love working with the Mall of America. I know that, they're a big mall, big box, but the people who run it, they're local people. They're just wonderful to work with. And I've never had such an easy experience and such supportive people. So I can't say enough about the Mall of America. They're just really good people, and they really do care about local businesses. It's been a wonderful experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how did you guys get the brands that you have there in the store? Like, you have some awesome brands that you sell out of the store, like stuff that I picked up last time, like there's
Yep.
virus shorts, high elite tank tops, all the cool shit that you can get.
Yeah.
How did you hook up with all these cool companies?
So to pick them, it was a lot of research. One of the things that I wanted to be able to provide is not just, a level of like Dick's Sporting Goods, you can go there and just get anything for cheap. And that's not the kind of service I wanted to provide. I wanted to provide a level of, this is quality,
Yep.
for the people who are really taking their athletics seriously. They want the good stuff that's going to last. So I had to do a lot of research and find the right stuff, kind of weed out, try some things and see what's working, what's not working well with quality, and retain the stuff that's working and remove what's not. So it's just a lot of research, a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. A lot of the companies, surprisingly, were really quick to want to work with me. I think that I picked a lot of smaller companies that have never really branched out into brick and mortar yet, and they were loving the opportunity to try it out and see how people would react to seeing their products in person in a shop. Chic is one of them that I can, talk to that degree. And they've been in a few gyms, but not really in the area. They're a local Oshkosh, Wisconsin brand. So they're fairly close to here, within with less than 300 miles, I believe.
Yeah.
And, the guy who works on all the orders is the owner, Morty, and he's just fantastic. So they were really excited to see what it would be like to be in, a brick and mortar shop, for people to be able to walk in, see the quality of their product, try on the belts and see how they fit and feel. And, it's been a good relationship. Virus was another one that was really quick and easy to work with. And, they're kind of a bigger international company, but you don't find them anywhere. You don't find them in any other stores. So it was really nice to be able to be the one and only person who's carrying that in Minnesota. And, bring that to people to see the quality. Because I think a lot of people, especially in CrossFit, have heard of Virus. They're one of the best in compression.
Yeah.
They make some of the best weightlifting singlets. But to be able to see it in person and then actually be able to try the shorts on and experience the quality of it and just be like, well, yeah, there is a reason why these guys are great. That was part of the process, is picking who's good and picking who's going to work, and just talking to a lot of people. And I've had some awkward conversations with other vendors about, they really looking to have you do their, work with them and such. And it's just like, well, no, your quality hasn't worked out. And I'm sorry, I can't retain you. And it's an awkward conversation, but you got in order to have integrity in the business, you just got to do what's right.
Mm-hmm.
They'll even try to give you we'll give you a deal here and there. It's like, man, the deal is where you're getting your stuff made and the quality of it. That's the deal. People will pay for something that's going to last and is going to get the job done correctly. Within the, especially within powerlifting, you can't say enough for, equipment that's not going to fail. You're putting a lot, you're risking a lot by lifting a lot of weight at times. And it's the last thing you want is for something, a failure in equipment to cause an accident and, cause a muscle to tear, cause you to drop a lot of weight in the wrong way and tear something, hurt something. And you got to rely on what you're using. You got to have the confidence and the trust there.
That's a great point. I love your store, and we met at a game day 2 years ago, probably now.
Yeah, it's one of the first ones I ever went to.
And I saw it, and I saw all the cool stuff that I've been only able to order online. And I was like, oh wait, you have it at an actual store. This is super cool. I think the biggest thing that you have going for you, other than the fact that you're in Edina and Mall of America, is the fact that you have all these brands there that people can only buy or look at online, unless they come to your store and then they can try it on and see how valuable it is. I wore those Virus shorts I got a couple weeks ago, 2 days in a row, and nothing happened, nothing changed. I helped move my mother-in-law into a different house wearing them, and there's no scrapes, nothing. Like if they
Just
got
quality
wet,
short, right?
yeah, like
Yeah.
if there was water on them, it kind of just like fell off. Like they didn't stay. Like it's fantastic. So thank you, because
Yeah. Yeah.
that kind of stuff
It's,
is super awesome. But who inspired you growing up to like do this kind of stuff, to be entrepreneurial and own your own business?
First and foremost, I'm going to have to say my mom. She's been such a supportive person, and this was kind of a dream for her as well as mine. In fact, we had a plan when I was a lot younger, that we were going to open a small business in our hometown. That fell through for different reasons, but we had it all the way up to the business plan and everything. We were scouting places out, and I learned a lot from working with my own mom on that project. Another person I really loved working with within the industry, John Long. He is the owner of Marathon Sports in Minneapolis. It's a running shoe store.
Okay.
That store has been around for well over 30 years, and John is he's just a wealth of knowledge. And talking to him about business and what it means to own your own store and have your own rules and be accountable to your own sense of self he's such an inspiration. And there's a lot of other people that along the way, once you get into a small business, you meet so many other entrepreneurs that it's incredible. It's everybody has a great story, and it's just like so refreshing to see other people who have had that same type of a dream and drive to want to be a person who's there providing for the community. And what I can say about small business versus big business is the difference is small business, the attitude is usually, what can I give you versus what are we getting from you? And that's a key difference, because there's a difference in the drive of just making a business that makes money versus somebody who's providing something with integrity and what they love.
Yeah.
And I can't miss out an individual I met in Colorado. His name is Dale Petrillo. He is a fantastic individual. He owns his own mortgage branch, and he such a hard worker. And what I learned from him is the attitude of how to treat people. He is a wonderful, wonderful individual. And he really knows how to treat his team and his employees with the utmost respect. And that's another one. You want to retain good people, you got to treat them like great people. You can't do anything without your people.
Exactly.
So,
That's awesome. That's awesome. How did you get hooked up with all these local businesses that you started having their items at your shop?
Yeah. So some of the local people, Vital, Radiate, Trendsetters, Character. So, there's like, I talked, sorry, that was my cat. She is just annoying. I can't get rid of her though. So I talked about a level of, like integrity. I think that that's a quality that you don't see very often in a lot of places, but some, in small business, I think you see it a lot. But that one of the things that I want to never risk or give up is integrity, and ensuring that not only are we, like, I want to make my business work, but I don't want to do it at the risk of, taking from others fairly. So in efforts to be a more supportive member of the local community, I partnered with some local companies, some local brands that manufacture their own goods to have to have them have a more profitable experience selling in brick and mortar. So within these deals, I met the owners of Vital, Radiate, Character, and Trendsetters, and we have a deal where they sell out of our store, but they make more of the profit than normally I do on a wholesale deal.
Okay.
Because I want them to grow as I grow, and because the better they do as a local company, the better we're all going to look. And so I really want to support them. Now, how I met them is, it's just through the community of meeting people like yourself and getting connected with others. And, it's just, yeah, you partnering with different establishments like Game Day. That's a great example of where Game Day as a CrossFit community has brought so many different individuals within the industry together. And they're one of the biggest gatherings of, CrossFit, the CrossFit experience in the Twin Cities, with the exception, of course, of Granite Games, because they're huge. But locally, they're locally owned and run organization, and they invite a lot of people to sponsor their events, and I got involved in that, and through that I met a lot of other businesses. Vital was one of the ones that I met there. Killcliff, I'm trying to think of who else I met there. Character, so that community helped bring it together. Another really, really strong local community provider is Los Campeones Gym.
Yeah.
I've met so many people through them, and what a supportive and wonderful environment of a gym. They have a lot of entrepreneurs that come out of that place. That, it's a really it's a staple within the Twin Cities area as a gym. They've been open a long time. It's one of the last iron gyms around, and they there's a lot of people that work out there and create their own little community there. And so being a part of the industry, I got a chance to meet them, and they introduced me to other people. And it's all about the attitude of wanting to make sure we all help each other.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, especially now, like during these times, like the community is the easiest way to like survive.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you have a strong community, like you're not going to go anywhere. Right. Like there's so many gyms that like I have a friend that said she had like 20 people at her Zoom class.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's insane.
It's incredible. Right? Yeah.
Like that's the reason why these businesses continue, is because everyone learns to adapt to whatever's going on, and they believe in the people that are running it or like helping them, and they just want to continue it. Because like if people left, right, and then the gym went away, like after COVID ended, they'd want to go back, but they couldn't because, right? So I think the biggest thing that everyone has right now is the community that they've built. So like you've made a huge community like around your store with the people that you've got to meet and everything, which is so awesome.
Yep. And a lot about it is, making sure that you are interjecting yourself by giving back. That's a bit without an expectation of like, oh, I'm only giving back to places that will help me, or I've sponsored a lot of events in the past, and it's nice to do so. It's nice to be able to help them out, make sure that they have a great event, and that their customer base feels very positive about what they've done. And I sponsor a team of athletes. And so it's just, it's about like just whatever you can do to kind of help out and just be a part of giving back to the community and be, an active member within it, not just a taker, but a giver,
Yeah. Even Phil Knight, he's the guy that created Nike. I just finished the book Shoe Dog like a week ago, and he was talking that him and his wife give $100 million away every year to charity, like just to like, because they want to, not because they have to, but they're like, oh, everyone's done so much for us, like we're gonna give it back now.
Yep.
So like even the richest people in the world do that kind of stuff, right? So who helped you like find the work ethic that you have? Like when I saw you at Mall of America on like opening day, you were drenched in sweat. Like you could tell you had been working your butt off. Like who helped you find this work ethic that just makes you want to like crush this?
Um, it's hard to say where that kind of stuff comes from. I feel like a lot of it's been there my whole life. I've always done well in school and, just really wanted to excel in a lot of things that I've tried. And, but I think even if, there is an innate drive to do well, it comes from somebody showing you support. And, when I was a teenager, one of the first jobs I had a manager named Dennis that was just, I was working one day and he stepped up to me and he just said, like, hey man, you got a lot of potential. You're a really smart kid. I just want you to know that. And, that's the kind of person he was, is just wanted to let people know what, like, he's the type of guy that you're doing a great job. You're doing wonderful. And it showed challenge. It's like, when you hear something like that, you want to be like, okay, I'll show you more. And, that great attitude, he's always been a person that really put an impression on me of like, this is what it means to do your best and show what you're made of. And so it just always came from there. It's just, just wanting to show the best of you.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
What are some of your future plans for the store? Like, once all this stuff blows over, like, seeing as you get to open Edina on Monday, and which is awesome, and Mall of America on the 1st, what are some of the future plans? Like, work with different companies.
Goal number one for me is to continue to introduce ourselves to people who haven't heard of us yet, because
Okay.
what I feel strong about is that within the industry, I think a lot of people really benefit from us, what we do. Every time, people come into contact with us, their reaction is similar to what you said. It's like, wow, this is great. And one of the hardest things to do in business is marketing. And, I want everyone in the Twin Cities areas to know that we're there and what we can provide, and to be able to rely on us as a source.
Yeah.
And goal number two is to continue to find new ways to be that source, new brands to carry, new innovative things that are coming out, to be able to provide to you and say, like, hey, have you tried this new technique or this new piece of gear? Kind of always be there to provide not only the most reliable, but the newest and newest stuff and whatnot.
Okay.
And number three is, continue to be a source of local merchandise as much as possible, because I really believe in localized economy. I strongly believe in it. I think that localized economy is the number one way to improve your communities, your neighborhoods. Keep the tax flow taking place within that community is going to allow for more enrichment of the area around you. And the only way to do that is to, support the areas where the money stays put. You support a locally owned Minnesota company, that money stays in Minnesota. It doesn't go to another state. So, shop those stores. And for me, it's carry those brands. One of the newest ones I'll be bringing in as soon as possible is Velasa. It's they make weightlifting shoes here locally, and they're incredible quality. And I'm really excited to be able to bring them in. So, for everybody's listening, the faster I can bring those in, it all dependent on how much support we get after we're opening. So come and shop us. We'll be able to bring Velasa in sooner.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we're excited for it. They're wonderful people.
I bet. Now,
Yeah.
what lessons have you learned through your journey to kind of like help people? Maybe they're stuck, they're trying to figure out what they want to do in life, or they're like out of a job and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. I've always just done this. I don't know where to go from here. What lessons have you learned to help those people, or just people in general?
Number one is, don't be afraid of the risk. That's one of the scariest thing about small business, and holds a lot of people back, is the fear of failure. It's a mixture of both. In small business, you can easily fail, and it can be very difficult to fail, depending on your network of support. And don't be afraid of it, though. If we continue to go in the environment where individuals like us are afraid to do this, then it'll never get done, and we won't be able to have the level of variety that's necessary within business to create innovation and create challenge and keep our, even keep the economy moving in the correct direction. And don't be afraid to ask for assistance from your friends, from your support groups. That's one of the lessons I can say personally, is that when times got tough, I thought to myself, I got to get through this. This is my responsibility. And, it doesn't hurt just to simply say, hey guys, times are tough. I need some help. And, that's not a level of, weakness. It's just, it's required of everyone from time to time, and you can't be afraid to do it.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what books would you recommend for people to read since they have so much time now? Everyone has like so much free time to read and study. What would you recommend?
If you are an entrepreneurial type, I liked a book called Marketing for Punks, and it's about a brewery that took a different approach to marketing. They basically said, if you don't like our attitude, then fuck off. And
Okay.
The biggest message behind that was you can't please everybody. So understand your core audience and know how to please them the most. And, go ahead and do things. Don't be afraid to do things aggressively. Don't be afraid to, show some innovation in marketing. And I've been known to have a little more bold messages that from time to time. And, it works for the right people. I'm not going to try to please everyone, especially in Edina. It's like, I'm not going to please the older groups there. I'm a little too abrasive. But, like people like you love it. So that's who I can show a little bit of myself in everything. And, what you're buying is not just tooth and nail. You're buying a little bit of Nick too. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And of course, the Harry Potter series. If you haven't read it, do it. They're amazing. Some of the greatest philosophical messages in a fictional story are in that book. And I'm a big fan of philosophically of integrity. And I think that's a big message within that series. And it's just incredible. It's an incredible read.
Yeah.
So,
and if you didn't know this, they're actually having the actors who played the characters from Harry Potter read the chapters of Harry Potter live, so that you could go watch the videos. It's fantastic.
I can only imagine. I gotta check that out.
Like, I started watching Daniel Radcliffe, so I was like, oh look, it's Harry Potter reading Harry Potter. This is fun.
I gotta check that out.
Well, thank you so much for doing this today, Nick. Anything else you wanted to tell everybody? Where can people find you? Stuff like that?
Yeah, so we are located, like our Edina store will be open on Monday. That's going to be May 18th. We're located 50th in France, Edina. So if you don't know exactly where that is, that's the intersection 50th Street and France Avenue, Edina, Minnesota. We're right in there. And we're on the first floor in the Mall of America, which will be open on June 1st. So come join us there as well. And right now we have, all of our merchandise that we had in the Mall of America is all in Edina as well. So we have a really full store right now. So,
awesome.
Come check that out. Plus we got I've been moving some really good deals. We have a basket of $5 deals, some clearance stuff. So if you want some cheap stuff, come on over and check it out.
Awesome.
Vital is going to be releasing their new line here on Monday. So they're going to have that in store. So their new line looks amazing. And again, Vital is a local brand that sells women's athletic leggings, shorts, and bras. And, they give back to mental health research for every sale. So they're a fantastic company that gives back. So their new stuff will be found in store.
Awesome.
Alex will be there for the first couple of weeks hanging out and talking about his stuff. So if you want to meet Alex, come in and hang out.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nick. It was an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast today. Hear about your story.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And Dan here is an ambassador for Tooth and Nail, so check out his social media feed, and you can find some really good deals, online codes from Dan. So make sure you follow him.
There we go. Well, thank you so much.
You bet, man.